Guys, you will not believe the amazing discovery that I just made. Alright. Okay. So, longtime viewers may remember that almost 3 years ago, I uploaded a video on how all cartoons take place in the same universe. And I'm pretty sure I even managed to expand the universe to video games, comics, and live-action properties. Well, I decided to watch a couple crossover videos on YouTube recently. And, my god, the type of stuff that I found out is freaking insane. So, strap in, folks, because this stuff is gonna get freaking wild.
Let's start with Good Luck Charlie. Stay with me on this. Good Luck Charlie had an episode where all of the female main characters went on the in-universe show Shake It Up Chicago of the Disney Channel series Shake It Up. Now, Good Luck Charlie also would have a crossover with the Disney Channel series Jessie. And Jessie, oh my god, this show had so many crossovers. So let's get to them. Jessie also had a crossover with Austin and Ally. Now, before you mention that Austin and Ally shouldn't really be important to this whole crossover chain link thing, may I remind you, this show gave us the glory that is Trish, so shut the frick up. The character Mr. Mosby from the Sweet Life series made a cameo in an episode of Jessie. And the Sweet Life series also did crossovers with Wizards of Waverly Place, Hannah Montana, That's So Raven, and I'm in the Band. And Jessie also had a crossover with Ultimate Spider-Man for some reason. And this version of Spider-Man was actually in Phineas and Ferb Mission Marvel, and Phineas and Ferb also had a crossover with Milo Murphy's Law, bringing us into the world of animation. And live action and animation clashed again when Dr. Doofenshmirtz went on Shark Tank. Yeah, that happened. Both Jessie and Austin and Ally were part of the giant Disney Channel crossover event, Monstober Spooktacular Weekend, which consisted of shows such as the previously mentioned Austin, Ally, and Jessie, but also included I Didn't Do It, Casey Undercover, Best Friends Whenever, Girl Meets World, and Liv and Maddie. But the important show in there is Girl Meets World. Girl Meets World is actually a spin-off of the beloved 90s sitcom Boy Meets World, which had a crossover with Sabrina the Teenage Witch, which leads us into the Archie comics, but we'll get into that type of stuff later. And it also had a crossover with Step by Step. And in just the second episode of Step by Step, Urkel appeared. And Urkel was also in an episode of Full House. And Urkel was also in an episode of Scooby-Doo. And Scooby-Doo has had tons of crossovers. Too many for us all to list right here. But we will only be talking about some specific ones, like their crossover with WWE, which featured John Cena, who was in the Fred movies. And Fred had a crossover with iCarly. Now, this pretty much gives us the entirety of the Dan Schneider universe. For those of you who don't know, Dan Schneider was a man who worked at Nickelodeon for 25 years, well, about 25 years, and he created some of the most beloved shows, live-action shows of the network. Now, he doesn't work with Nickelodeon anymore for reasons I don't want to get into here, but just to let you know, we can now include shows such as All That, The Amanda Show, Zoe 101, Drake and Josh, Victorious, Sam and Cat, Henry Danger, and Game Shakers. And one of the shows, Henry Danger, has actually had additional crossovers with the Thundermans and Night Squad. Oh, and iCarly also had crossovers with One Direction, Late Night with Jimmy Fallon, and Pawn Stars. So those are things. But going back to Scooby-Doo, you may have noticed that Scooby-Doo has had tons of crossovers, as we mentioned. Well, one of those is Teen Titans Go. And the thing about this crossover, it was the Teen Titans and the Scooby Gang on Family Feud. Yeah! And Teen Titans Go's own Raven was one of the 4 main characters in the massive Cartoon Network crossover event, Crossover Nexus, with the other main characters being KO from OKKO, which this is an OKKO episode, so it makes sense, Garnet from Steven Universe, and Ben 10 from, well, Ben 10. And this episode also features several different references and cameos from basically every single Cartoon Network original series. So let's just include all of Cartoon Network in this universe. OKKO has also done crossovers with Captain Planet and the Planeteers and Sonic the Hedgehog. And since Cartoon Network also has the Powerpuff Girls, which were featured in Cartoon Nexus, we could also include the Gorillas in this universe, since one of the latest members is actually Ace from the Powerpuff Girls, who is a member of the Gangrene Gang. And since we mentioned Scooby-Doo, we can include the entirety of the Hanna-Barbera universe. Yeah, the Flintstones, Yogi Bear, the Smurfs, everything. And since Space Ghost is also a Hanna-Barbera property, we can also include Aqua Teen Hunger Force, since the Aqua Teen first made their appearance in an episode of Space Ghost Coast to Coast. Going back to Teen Titans Go, they actually have their own version of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Now, this would normally fall under the category of an Easter egg, but keep in mind, in the 2009 TV special Turtles Forever, it was explained that every single version of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles takes place in its own universe. There we can add every single version of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in this little list. And why not? Let's also include the video game Nicktoons Kart Racing. And this game series features characters from Nickelodeon properties such as SpongeBob, Cat Dog, The Loud House, Rugrats, Danny Phantom, Hey Arnold, the Avatar series, Ren and Stimpy, Invader Zim, Rocko's Modern Life, and JoJo Siwa for some reason. Hi sisters, today we're going to find out which one of us is more cringy and or annoying.
Oh my god, that's totally me.
No, it's me.
It's me.
It's me.
It's me.
It's me. It's me.
It's me. Ah!
Anyway, since Danny Phantom is included in this universe now, we can include Fairly Odd Parents, Tough Puppy, and Bunsen is a Beast, since all of these shows had a short little YouTube video crossover. And since Fairly Odd Parents is a part of this universe, we can include the Jimmy Timmy Power Hour trilogy, a crossover between the Fairly Odd Parents and the adventures of Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius. And SpongeBob's live-action host, Patchy the Pirate, made an appearance in an episode of the Nickelodeon sitcom Big Time Rush. And Big Time Rush appeared in the other Nickelodeon shows starring the creator of Fred, Marvin, for some reason. Since the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are a part of this, we can include the Power Rangers. That's all of Power Rangers, by the way. Now, going back to Hanna-Barbera, Johnny Quest is also a part of the universe. Johnny Quest has done crossovers with Tom and Jerry. which Tom and Jerry has also done crossovers with The Wizard of Oz and Willy Wonka for some reason. And Johnny Quest has also done a crossover with the Venture Brothers. And of course, going back to Scooby-Doo, Scooby-Doo has, of course, done a crossover with Batman. Like, so many crossovers with Batman. And as we mentioned earlier, Scooby-Doo did its crossover with WWE, which a WWE wrestler, Sergeant Slaughter, is a regular character in the G.I. Joe series, and G.I. Joe's Cobra Commander appeared in an episode of Transformers. And Scooby-Doo also did a crossover with the Harlem Globetrotters, and the Harlem Globetrotters appeared in an episode of Futurama. And the Futurama had a crossover with The Simpsons. The Simpsons had a crossover with Family Guy, which leads us into shows such as American Dad and The Cleveland Show. Simpsons also had a crossover with King of the Hill. Simpsons had a crossover with The X-Files. And The X-Files also had a crossover with Cops. Simpsons had a crossover with Rick and Morty. Both Beavis and Butthead and Daria have made cameo appearances in an episode of Family Guy. Now, normally for Family Guy, this type of stuff would fall under references, but since these designs look awfully close to the original designs, and the fact that they have the original voice actors, we're going to count these. And in the Simpsons and Family Guy crossover, Bob Belcher from Bob's Burgers made a cameo, and Bob's Burgers also had a crossover with Archer. And The Simpsons had a crossover with the obscure 90s Fox sitcom, The Critic. And of course, since Rick and Morty is now a part of this universe, we can include Gravity Falls. Since in a Gravity Falls episode, Stan lost his mug and pen, and we can see that exact same mug and pen in an episode of Rick and Morty. And since Rick and Morty has this whole little multiple dimensions thing, we can include this little Easter egg of pony versions of Rick and Morty in an episode of My Little Pony. That would normally find under the Easter egg category, but, multiple universes. And since we also have Gravity Falls, we can include the final episode of the Disney XD show Future Worm, which featured Gravity Falls. It also featured several other Disney XD shows such as Star vs. the Forces of Evil, Wander Over Yonder, and Pickle and Peanut. Now going back to Scooby-Doo once again, Scooby and Shaggy appeared in Looney Tunes Back in Action, which gives us access to the entire Looney Tunes franchise. And several Looney Tunes characters were in Who Framed Roger Rabbit, a giant crossover which also includes characters such as Woody Woodpecker, Betty Boop, and Mickey Mouse and Company, which leads us into Kingdom Hearts. Now, Kingdom Hearts has a crapload of various Disney properties in it, and those properties are Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Pinocchio, Dumbo, Bambi, Cinderella, Alice in Wonderland, Peter Pan, Sleeping Beauty, 101 Dalmatians, The Sword and the Stone, Winnie the Pooh, Tron, The Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, Nightmare Before Christmas, The Lion King, Toy Story, Hunchback of Notre Dame, Hercules, Mulan, Tarzan, Monsters Inc., Lilo and Stitch, Pirates of the Caribbean, and Chicken Little, Ratatouille, Tangled, Wreck-It Ralph, Frozen, and Big Hero 6. Whew! Also, the cast of Cheers was in Mickey's 60th anniversary special. That's a little weird. And since Lilo and Stitch are in Kingdom Hearts, we can include the crossovers that they did with Kim Possible, The Proud Family, American Jag and Jake Long, and Recess. And Kingdom Hearts also has a bunch of characters from the Final Fantasy series. And Final Fantasy's own Cloud is one of the many characters in the Super Smash Bros. Series, which will introduce us to a whole lot of other crossovers. But let's just briefly go through all of the franchises that just so happen to be represented in Super Smash Bros. And the franchises are Mario, Donkey Kong, Zelda, Metroid, Kirby, Star Fox, Pokemon, Earthbound, F-Zero, Ice Climber, Fire Emblem, Game & Watch, Kid Icarus, Metal Gear, Sonic the Hedgehog, Pikmin, Rob the Robot, Animal Crossing, Mega Man, Wii Fit, Punch-Out, Me, Pac-Man, Xenoblade Chronicles, Duck Hunt, Street Fighter, Final Fantasy, Bayonetta, Splatoon, Castlevania, Persona, Dragon Quest, Banjo-Kazooie, Fatal Fury, and ARMS. Mario has had crossovers with the Rayman Rabbids and Inspector Gadget for some reason, and even the NBA. Yup. And Terry Bogard, who is from the Fatal Fury series, is probably most notable nowadays for appearing in the King of Fighters series, which features some series that nobody gives a crap about, so we're not going to mention them. Here's something a little fun and random. The apes from Ape Escape appear in Metal Gear Solid 3, and Solid Snake appeared in Ape Escape 3. A little fun little promotional thing. A bit of an odd one, considering the fact that these games have absolutely nothing in common, but, just something that's a little fun. And the Metal Gear Solid character Raiden appeared in the PlayStation version of Smash Bros. PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale, which features characters from BioShock, Infamous, Killzone, Devil May Cry, Starhawk, Fat Princess, Tekken, Dead Space, Jak and Daxter, Gravity Rush, God of War, Heavenly Sword, Uncharted, Parappa the Rapper, Metal Gear, Ratchet and Clank, Little Big Planet, Medieval, Sly Cooper, Ape Escape, and Twisted Metal. And Snake and even Simon Belmont were in the game DreamMix TV World Fighters, which included characters from Bomberman, Adventure Island, Beyblade, and Transformers. Yeah! And of course, there's all the various different crossovers by Capcom. From Marvel vs. Capcom, to Tetsunoku vs. Capcom, to SNK vs. Capcom, to even Project Cross Zone. Capcom loves doing crossovers. And since Capcom has basically included all of their properties in the crossovers, I think it's safe to put all of Capcom in the universe. And of course, we have Sonic, who was in LEGO Dimensions. LEGO Dimensions features characters from DC Comics, the Lego Movie, Lord of the Rings, Back to the Future, Portal, The Simpsons, Jurassic World, Scooby-Doo, of course, Legends of Chima, Wizard of Oz, Doctor Who, Ninjago, Ghostbusters, Midway Arcade, Adventure Time, Mission Impossible, Harry Potter, The A-Team, Gremlins, E.T., Knight Rider, Goonies, Lego City Undercover, The Powerpuff Girls, Teen Titans Go, and Beetlejuice. And now that we're heading back to the world of cartoons, we could include the Steven Spielberg cartoons, since they all take place in the same universe, and all of them span from Tiny Toons, which is a spin-off of Looney Tunes. And the Looney Tunes were in Cartoon All-Stars to the Rescue, which features characters from the Muppet Babies, Garfield, the Smurfs, Winnie the Pooh, Huey, Dewey and Louie, Alvin and the Chipmunks, Ghostbusters, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and Alf for some reason. I don't know. But we also have the Muppets, as I mentioned before, and the Muppets have done crossovers with Sesame Street, Fraggle Rock, Saturday Night Live, and Star Wars. In fact, let's focus on Sesame Street for a minute. Sesame Street has had crossovers with the Electric Company and Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, and Mr. Rogers has had a crossover with Bill Nye the Science Guy. And Sesame Street was in a obscure music video in the early 2000s called We Are Family. And we could see the cast of Sesame Street with characters from Bear in the Big Blue House, Between the Lions, and Barney the Dinosaur. So we can include those shows in the world. And more recently, Sesame Street has done crossovers with The Wiggles, Westworld, and Game of Thrones. I will repeat that. Sesame Street did a crossover with Game of Thrones.
What?
And going back to the Muppets one last time, they were in an episode of Good Luck Charlie, which brings this whole thing full circle.
It's insane. It is absolutely insane on the fact that over 100 different properties, probably even more, all take place in one giant multiverse. I mean, just think about it. Garfield could join S.H.I.E.L.D. Batman could be in Game of Thrones. And Perry the Platypus could go around dimension hopping with Rick and Morty. All of these different crossovers could happen. Plus, probably a million different crossover possibilities. And we even managed to cross over with the original video that I made years ago on this subject. Which also includes properties like Glee and Doctor Who and Star Trek. I mean, it is insane. It's absolutely insane. And before I end this video, I just want to make a little statement. You might be wondering,
Wait a minute. That version of Spider-Man isn't the same as that version of Spider-Man.
No, that version of Batman can be canon. Patchy's appearance in an episode of Big Time Rush can't be canon to SpongeBob.
well, here's the thing. I mentioned earlier about the whole multiverse theory. And it is canon that Rick and Morty, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the DC Universe, and the Marvel Universe have a multiverse. That's why we were able to include the pony versions of Rick and Morty in this universe because of Rick and Morty's whole multiverse theory. Those, who knows, the pony versions of Rick and Morty could very well exist in the Rick and Morty universe. And it's also why we included the Easter eggs to Gravity Falls and The Simpsons. And same with Ninja Turtles. We were able to include every single version of the Ninja Turtles in this universe, plus the different properties that they crossed over with. And I just used the Power Rangers crossover and the Nicktoons crossover game just for simplicity's sake. So the question isn't whether or not it's canon. The question is, which version is it canon to? But anyway, guys, that's all I have for this behemoth of a video. And were there any properties or crossovers that I missed? Please let me know down in the comments below, and don't be mean about it.
You forgot this crossover between Godzilla and Pokemon.
Please, keep it nice, keep it clean. Well, you can swear if you want to, I don't care. Just don't be jerks in the comments. We hate trolls. Trolls can go die. Trust me, I know from experience. But that'll be all for this video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and to ring the bell. And I will see you later. Bye!